President Tinubu assures Nigerians there will be sweet after today's sweat as he discusses measures being perfected to give the people a new lease of life. Governor's class of 99 at the Villa with 99 questions. PDP governors to collaborate with the federal government on welfare of citizens say good governance is non-negotiable. Also on political updates today, speakers of state assemblies urged to drive development with their gavels and not become rubber stamps of tyranny. We have these and more on our lineup. I am Victor, as welcome. President Bola Tinubu was on familiar and nostalgic ground when he hosted his former governor colleagues from the class of 99. He used the opportunity to explain the status of the plans put in place to cushion the discomfort occasioned by fuel subsidy removal.
A brief but warm handshake with the chairman of this forum. More exchanges of pleasantries will come later. A reunion amongst the pioneer governors of the Fourth Republic in Nigeria, their class of 1999 governors to which the president belongs. There were nostalgic moments as they recounted the nascent stage of the Nigerian democracy on its return in 1999. And as their old colleague takes the first seat in the country and recently in the sub-region, the business of the day was predictable.
To come and say, big congratulations. And only recently, he also became the chairman of ECOWAS. Congratulations.
Beyond felicitations, the former governors lauded the initial policy decisions of the president so far taken on economy and security. They equally recognized the huge challenges ahead of the Nigerian leader, but inasmuch as they believe in his capacity, they also offer areas requiring urgent attention of the president.
It is a great joy for me.
Tinubu, now the first amongst equal, appreciated the presence of his classmates, and his desire, as reiterated, is to take necessary steps towards the stability of Nigeria.
The job of making Nigeria great is my ambition, is my dream. To renew the hope of Nigerians, to really bring about changes that will promote unity, equity, stability, and prosperity for this country. Irrevocable commitment to humanity that we must have the country and put it in the right direction. Nobody else will do it for us.
And arising from their meeting this week, governors of the People's Democratic Party resolved to work with the federal government to deliver to the welfare of citizens while insisting on good governance.
12 out of the 13 governors elected on the platform of the PDP attended the inaugural forum's meeting under the leadership of Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State. Deputy Chairman of the forum and Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara was absent at the meeting. At the end of the meeting held behind closed doors, the meeting resolved to work together and unite the forum, which aims to provide a platform for peer review issues, policies, programs, and achievements of members across the PDP states.
The meeting advised the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the security agencies, the federal government to be neutral in the conduct of the off-season elections in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo states.
On security situation in the country, especially what the forum described as wanton destruction of lives and property in Plateau and Zamfara states, the meeting advised the federal government and security agencies to rise to the occasion. On disagreements within the PDP, the forum believes that reconciliation is a work in progress and hopes to reconcile all aggrieved members soon.
Now, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has urged political party leaders at all levels to partner with the federal government to ensure dividends of democracy are delivered to Nigerians, especially those in the grassroots. Now, the SGF was speaking when he played host to APC state chairman who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja.
Security agencies are working round the clock to ensure that he is recovered and reunited with his family. Some of these criminal activities are going down now. And this will be brought to the barest minimum in due course. Nigerians had confidence in the candidates and they have never been disappointed since the inauguration of this administration.
Indeed. And many believe President Tinubu's 1.5 months on the saddle of Africa's biggest democracy has been very eventful. Perhaps this fast start may also be triggering bigger expectations in different sectors of the economy in the coming days. The president's first team will be assembled, awaiting the confirmation of the National Assembly. Mohamed Musa Soken of the APC Initiative for Good Governance joins us here and now. It's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me in the studio.
Now, it has been a very fast start for Mr. President. He has also been given an extra job on the subcontinent, talking about leadership of the ECOWAS. Now, all within his first 6 weeks in office. So, what are your expectations in terms of meeting the promises he made to Nigerians, delivering on the promises he made to Nigerians?
Well, I must have to first of all give kudos and thank the leadership of the economic community of West Africa for deeming it fit to bring on board His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu to govern the affairs of the ECOWAS. This is very timely. At this particular time, the integration, cooperation, and social interaction that will bring about changes in the lives of a common man in this West African community is very needful. This is a very commendable and laudable applause to them for taking that bold step, having discovered that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man that will make things happen. And it is happening fast, as we can see in Nigeria. Within the twinkle of an eye, several policies and programs of the government have taken it full course. And perhaps we can see things are going very well in Nigeria.
All right, Ambassador. And now, while particularly, the politicians are saying that the incoming team should be made up of members of the APC, some others are saying, well, we should find technocrats and experts wherever they may be found, and everywhere indeed you can find them and bring them into the team, so long as the goal is to make Nigeria better and indeed greater. What's your stand on this?
It is very, very needful. Hence, all parameters put in place to see that the government of the day perform extra, credible. And bringing on board technocrats and professionals, professors and what have you, in several areas of discipline will galvanize and bring on board people that will lead this country to the greater height. We have said it earlier before on this particular platform that if people like His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be brought on board, things is going to work very well. We also talk about Akpabio, and in the same vein we talk about Tajuddin. And today we can see there are unity between the legislative and the executives. That has gone down well to bring about all the achievement we are seeing today. It doesn't stop there. The emergence of His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu as ECOWAS chairman was something that was conceptualized in 1945, precisely after the Second World War, on the 24th of October 1945. The League of World all over deemed it fit to bring all the country together, and the purpose is deliberately to kind of improve the international peace and security, development and human rights. And that has gone well down to what emanated to ECOWAS and other organizations that are targeted to improve the life of a common man. So having said that, you can see that at home here, integration is very, very needful. Synergy and corporate relationship is very, very needful in order to, surmount all forces that is going to galvanize to give good, dividends of democracy in Nigeria. So it's very, very timeful. I say the time without number that in APC Initiative for Good Governance, we have technocrats, professionals, and professors. People like Professor Osombo is one of us. His Excellency Balaglari is one of us. We have Professor Ahmed Yakubu Ashuku, a professor of medicine, and also a consultant surgeon.
In other words, there will be no need to look elsewhere.
Yeah, there are other places. I'm just giving a kind of insight view of what we have, which is also obtainable in other axes.
That so what would you be saying, for instance, that Mr. President should rally a team of technocrats, or just focus on the APC?
No,
can there be a mix?
There should be. There should be for national integration and peaceful coexistence. This government is a government of national integration. So a situation where one or two people will be picked outside to make a kind of positive impact that streamline along bringing on board things that are going to uplift the standard of living of the masses of this country is very, very needful. So it is not wrong if Mr. President in that line will bring one or two people outside APC to also contribute positively. What we are also looking at is the national development that will bring about uplifting in the standard of living of the masses of the people.
And what will your organization, your group, the APC Initiative for Good Governance, be doing to ensure that Mr. President is able to accomplish the promises that he made to Nigerians?
Well, good governance is all about people coming together to articulate their interests, exercise their right, as well as mediate their differences. We have come out severally on media outfits to discuss and tell Nigerians that, look, we have to come together as family. What we are out for is development. Abraham Lincoln said development is all about doing to people what they wouldn't have been able to do efficiently for themselves. But with the government, they will do it adequately. Take, for instance, in some hamlets where they use wood to provide a kind of bridge that would, cross over to their villages. But with the coming of the government will provide a kind of concretized and cemented, bridge that will make, transportation easy for the people. So in such case, APC Initiative for Good Governance is an advocate of good governance and peaceful coexistence. And we have our lieutenant all over across the 774 local government, 6 political zone, and 36 state and FCT. And all they are doing is nothing more than preaching and educating what is going to produce a kind of good governance in Nigeria in support of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right, it's safe now to say that you and your members will be on standby when called upon to contribute
adequately and sufficiently and proficiently. We are ever ready to do that.
Right.
We have our mentor who has mentored us in unity, peace, and progress of this country, who is not other person that His Excellency Dr. Senator George Akume.
All right. Thank you very much, Ambassador Mohammed Musa Soken, President, APC Initiative for Good Governance. We thank you for your time and your perspectives.
Thank you very much.
Right, and the task of leading the state legislature requires humility, focus, unity of purpose, and diligence to deliver quality governance to the people. Governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oborewori, gave these pointers at the induction of speakers of state houses of assembly in Abuja.
Legislature, as the voice of the people, is vested with the responsibility of lawmaking, oversight, and representation as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Speakers from the 36 state houses of assembly who preside over these legislative functions are gathered here to share experience, receive tips on quality leadership, and agree on mechanisms for sustaining the gains achieved by the legislature at state level.
They're one of the main conduits by which people can express their ambitions and have them respected and taken into account by their politicians.
Speaker's seat is the most hottest seat. It's a seat that you have a lot of interest to serve. So I call on them, especially the new speakers, to be humble, to take their members along with whatever they do, and to try and strike a balance between executive and the legislature.
Delta State Governor, who is reputed to be the longest-serving Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, had words of wisdom for his colleagues.
I made it a priority to understand and internalize the policies and programs of government to be able to properly scrutinize their budget, ascertain judicious resource allocation, and monitor implementation. I encourage every speaker to do same because it promotes the principle of checks and balances as envisaged by the Constitution.
And the National Working Committee of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, has called on relevant security agencies to intervene in the rising political tension in Kogi State ahead of the November 11 governorship election in the state. The party, at a press conference in Abuja, also alleged that the situation has resulted in loss of lives and property.
Unfolding intrigues which have trailed the Kogi State governorship elections scheduled for November 11 this year seem to have kept the Social Democratic Party SDP awake at night. Following Tuesday, July 11th attack on its secretariat in Kogi State, the National Working Committee members of the party are here again to raise alarm on some antisocial developments in Kogi State.
We are therefore appealing and repeating our call to the President for a special panel of inquiry to investigate the ongoing political terrorism and extrajudicial killings in Kogi State.
Alleging that the attacks are calculated attempts to incapacitate the SDP candidate Muri Mutalajaka, as well as prevent him from making an impact in the governorship election, the party urges the law enforcement agencies to also investigate an alleged plot by hoodlums to use the party's emblem to further carry out nefarious activities in the state.
And just before we go, let's take a story from Women in Politics. The current administration says it is ready to take the next step in giving all Nigerians a sense of belonging. President Bola Tinubu made this commitment as he received his party's women leaders from across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT.
Time to savor the moments of realization of aspiration, perhaps beyond expectations, or filled with sense of fulfillment.
The latest chairman of ECOWAS,
By names reign, and the president could not help but acknowledge the eulogies. In his appointment of personal advisors and aides so far, President Tinubu has reflected respect and consideration for women and their ability. And here is to say thank you. We believe you do more as the progressive women identify with the president's decision so far and pledged support.
Every single day we wake up with pride. Before this time, we used to be the ones to go to the TV stations and the radio stations to scream Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the best man for this job. We're happy that today, as we speak, they go to the TV and say, we never knew he was like this. We never knew we had a potential. Nigerian women will be right behind you. There's no better choice than President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You all deserve gold medals.
Grateful hearts, President Tinubu appreciates his support base. Again, he acknowledges the economic situation as brought about by the fuel subsidy removal, but he believes the women understand better that there is usually light at the end of a tunnel.
You are the one who understands the labor pain. That is only after that pain you see the smile of a child that you are relieved and forget the pain completely. And that's what we are going through economically. You are the one who can educate better the public to understand that we have to go through this. Cartel and thieves have been reaping also and fleecing this country before now. You say enough is enough.
Interesting. I guess the women have never been more optimistic of playing a big role in the political landscape. But I'm tempted, just before we go, to ask Ambassador Soke again, lessons that can be learned from the general elections that may be applied to the off-cycle elections that are forthcoming.
Yes, at all times, justice is the court of every good criticism. And if justice is done to people, they, strongly go for what they need. And I'm assuring you, with the performance of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigerian have confidence, where even there are none, to still go for APC all over. So, but we believe that justice is done at the primaries that will be held or has been held across board in those states, and the needful will be done, and APC will still remain victorious as ever before.
All right, Ambassador Musa Soke, President, APC Initiative for Good Governance, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, and that is the size of political updates today. We will be back on Tuesday, I promise you, for the next installment of the program. I'm Victor Azo, thanking you for sitting in and keeping your politics devoid of violence.